everyone, and welcome to the Polettirosa Homestead. Well, I got a huge harvest of potatoes this year. So I figured let's dehydrate some potatoes. Okay? So let's get to it. So the first thing you have to do is basically wash your potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the potatoes, I'm putting them in the sink, and I'm going to add some nice cold water to it. They just went through one quick rinse now, but they need to get cleaned up a little bit. So basically all I'm doing is I put a sink drain in and I'm adding cold water. Then I'm going to take them over and I'm going to peel them. I'm going to cut them. And then I've got to blanch them for about 4 to 6 minutes. And I've got my pot on, heating up like a storm. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm taking my potatoes and I'm just going to use a potato slicer, a potato peeler, and just peel the potato up. Quick and easy, take it over to the sink, give it a quick rinse, and I put them in the pot here. Okay, so let me get these potatoes going. Once I've got them all peeled down, we'll come back and we'll show you cutting. Okie doke, be right back. Okay, I have quite a big pot here of potatoes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them now. Okay, so let me put this on this side. Okay, here's a bad potato, not a bad potato. Here is a potato that's got a lot of those cracks in it. Okay, so I just peel the outside of it, and I'm going to cut it. That where the crack was, and then there I'm just going to peel it from there. Pretty easy going that way. And then I'll just cut it into my pieces. I don't know if you can see, but that's about the thickness I want. I've already done some downstairs that are in real thin strips, and I'm going to use them for when I decide to make like an au gratin potato, like a Betty Crocker au gratin potato. Something a small piece like that, I'm just putting that in my compost pile. I don't try to get rid of anything here if I don't have to. I do throw a lot in compost because of my soil here. And potato peels are great for a compost bin. How's everybody been doing? Today it is cold outside. I had to go out, I went and got sheets from the, what is that called now? Goodwill. Got it pretty cheap. And what I do, and maybe I'll show it to you, but what I do is I went to Lowe's and they had these blue piping. It's cheap. I drove stakes down in the ground and then I took the piping and I went around with it. What I do is I take my sheets and I put it over some of my herbs that don't like the cold weather. Just saves the life of it. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. But it's a yucky day outside. In fact, I probably need another cup of coffee soon. What you don't want to do is you don't want to blanch too many potatoes at once. So just get like a pot full. First of all, if you're going to sit there for hours and just peel potatoes, it gets crazy. So this way I try to do like a pot. And then what I'll do is I'll blanch this pot while I'm working on my next. That way it gives me a little bit of a rest in between. Like I said, we're just going to blanch these potatoes for anywhere 4 to 6 minutes. I typically do 6. The reason why you're blanching the potatoes is it cuts out the enzymes that's in it. It will stop your potato from turning a brownish black color. Oh, they look horrible. The very first time I used an older dehydrator that I did not have a book for. And I just took it like this and put them right in the dehydrator. They were not appealing looking whatsoever. So what I'm going to do with these is once I get all these done, which I think they're just about done now, I'm going to take them over, I'm going to rinse them out one more time under cold water. Yeah, they're all done. Rinse them out under cold water and then put them in and blanch them. Okie doke, so we will be back. Okay, the potatoes are in the water. Now I do not start the timer until it becomes to a boil again. Very similar to the process of sweet potatoes. Now, while I'm waiting for those to boil so that I can put the timer on, I start peeling again. Depending upon your altitude, it could take anywhere from 4 to 12 hours to dehydrate potatoes. Now, I brought my dehydrator inside today, so it should take less time. Now, when you're done, when the blanching part's done, you put it in, you can rinse them over cold water. What that does is it stops the cooking process, getting them into that cold water. Now, what you don't want to do, especially like me, I'm doing many batches of potatoes, so you can use your water over and over again. So whatever you do, take them out with like a spoon that's got all the holes in it. Got one of those yucky potatoes again. Now, about a week ago, I went and down to my root cellar, grabbed some of my dehydrated potatoes, boiled some water, put the dehydrated potatoes into that boiling water, kept testing them with a fork when they were just like a normal potato. When they were soft, I drained the water, put some butter and some milk in, mashed them down, and you didn't even know the difference. Okay, it looks like my water's coming to a boil, so I'm going to put my timer on. I'm going to hurry up and get going because my next batch will be ready to go in. And I'm nowhere near ready for that next batch. this time is I'm going to cut them right after I peel it. I think that will save some time. We'll have to go searching through the water to see what potatoes have been cut and what haven't. And that's about it. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the water going, and I'm just taking the potatoes out, throwing them into a colander, and cold water is coming down on them. And that's basically just stopping the cooking process, because I don't want cooked potatoes in the dehydrator. And then what I'll do from this point is I will take a baking sheet. When my colander is full, and I'll just lay them out there to cool even more. Okie doke, we'll see you in a bit. So here I have my baking sheet. And what I did was I put just a little layer of cold water on it. And then I'm just putting the potatoes on there. That way the cooling process is more one-on-one. Because even though I ran that cold water, the potatoes are still too hot. And you don't want to put hot potatoes in the dehydrator, because they'll still be cooking. You want to tell them little babies, stop cooking. Okay, now my water on here is a little warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it out and get some more cold water. Okay, so once they're cooled down on the tray, go ahead and put them in your dehydrator on the trays. And also, let me let you know one thing. Yes, it's probably better to put them in ice water, these potatoes, right from the stove. I just never seem to have enough ice in my house. I have an automatic ice maker, but I still never seem to have enough ice. So I just do it this way, but it would probably be a lot quicker if you just throw them in ice water. But this is a good practice in case your refrigerator went down and you had no ice. Now what I did was I put same water, and I put that back on the stove again, heating back up again so my next batch can get in. Okay, put this batch in. have my last batch of potatoes on. Seems like it took forever. It's only 9 seconds left, and I pour them into cold water, put them on the dehydrated tray, and let it go. I will be back as soon as I take them out of the dehydrator. Okay, so that's going to be about 8 to 12 hours, who knows? And I will see you then. Bye-bye.
Okay, so it's very early in the morning. I got up about a half hour ago. It's still pretty dark out. And what I did before I went to bed last night is I turned off my dehydrator. I didn't want it running all night long. So let's go in and see what we've got. Hopefully it doesn't get too close. Now what I did about a half hour ago is I turned all the trays. So I would take this one out and switch it around and make this now in the back. Okay, so let's go down. Let's pick a tray. Let's pick the last tray. Okay, now if you see these, I see a couple done right here. And what you do is you take them, and are they translucent? Yeah, they are. You can see right through it. That is a done potato. Let's take another one. No, it is not translucent. So that is no good. I should say that's not done yet. Oh, this one looks done. See, you could see through it. Maybe not the top there so much, but... So no, I would say that's not done. That's not translucent enough. Ooh, that's a good one right there. See? See how you can see right through it? That is done. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of these trays, see what's translucent and what's not, and put them back in for a while longer. I'll be back.
Okay, everyone, so I'm nearing the ending cycle. I'm starting to get a lot of these that are all done. They're all nice and hard. They're translucent. And that's all you have to do. Then store them in a nice, cool place. I usually put them in a glass jar, a big 1-gallon glass jar. I put an oxygen absorber in it. And that's it. I just store them. Like I said, they're really easy. All you do is act like you just got done peeling them. Throw them in boiling water. Stick a fork in them to see if they're soft enough. And then mash them up or do whatever you want. Okay, guys, so thank you again for visiting the Polettirosa Homestead. I can't wait to see you soon, and have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.